Dear students, now I would like to discuss an application of Gauss's law, that is electric field intensity at a point due to an infinitely long straight uniformly charged wire. Okay, and see, this is the infinitely long. Here I have considered what? An infinitely long straight uniformly charged wire. This is x dash. This wire is infinitely long, though I have written a finite part, but here I have drawn only a portion of the infinite wire. Okay, that is x dash, and it is suppose positively charged and uniformly charged. Okay, now what we have to do, we have to find out electric field intensity, suppose at point P, suppose at here this point P. Okay, now see, electric field at point P means you have to consider a Gaussian surface through point P. But which Gaussian surface? Now I discussed already, if you have to apply Gauss's law, then you require what? One Gaussian surface. Gaussian surface means it is a regular shaped body which is a closed. Suppose this is a what? Cylinder. You can take cylinder as a Gaussian surface. You can take sphere as a Gaussian surface. You can take cube as a Gaussian surface. Okay, whichever is useful. Okay, or easier to apply. Okay, now see here. Since this is an axis, okay, we can consider Gaussian surface here cylindrical one. Why? Uh, about the symmetry, see here, this is the point P is at a distance r. Now see here, about the axis, you can draw what? A cylinder. That is why it is better to consider cylinder as a Gaussian surface. Now I have considered here a Gaussian surface having radius r. Why radius r? Because the point P is at a distance what? R from the axis, and distance between axis and the point P will be considered as a radius. That is why the radius of the Gaussian surface is what? R. And suppose the length of the cylinder is L. That means we have considered only a part of x dash, infinitely charged wire. Okay. Now this cylinder having three parts. See here, S1, this is a circular part. S2, this is also a circular part, and S3 is a curved surface. Okay. Now see, suppose x dash, which is uniformly charged, having linear charge density is what? Lambda. I have written here. Now I see this note, x dash, an infinitely long straight uniformly charged wire. Consider a Gaussian surface of radius r and length L. Okay, the radius is what? R. Okay, and length is what? Length is L. Now lambda linear charge density of the wire, that means charge per unit length of the uniformly charged wire is what? Lambda. Okay, and S1 S2 are circular surfaces of the cylinder, and S3 is the curved surface of the cylinder. Now one thing I would like to tell you here before going to discuss this topic, since this is what? Positively, the wire is what? Positively charged. Suppose you consider a small point. From here electric field lines will be along this direction, again along this direction. Again, since this is 2D, you have seen only two lines, but here perpendicular to the plane also, this direction also, every way you will get electric field lines. Similarly, from this point, this one, this way, that means electric field lines are parallel to each other. Why? They will never intersect each other. That's why. Okay, now see, this concept will be helpful to understand this diagram. Now net flux to the Gaussian surface. Gaussian surface means here to the whole cylinder. Now see, flux means what? Phi. Electric flux means phi equal to what? Integration of E vector dot ds vector. Already I discussed, if you consider only a small portion of a surface, that is ds vector or ds, then what will happen? The net flux through the small portion is what? E vector dot ds vector. But if you consider the whole cylinder, that means ds is a suppose small portion of what? A cylinder. Okay, small area of cylinder, then electric flux will be what? E vector dot ds vector. But if you consider the whole cylinder, then you have to integrate. Again, this symbol means circle, means close. Since this cylinder is closed, that is why this is closed. close object, for close object. Okay, now see, you can divide the integration into three parts. You can write this integration into three parts. That means you are going to divide the closed cylinder into three parts. One is S1, other is S2, other is, and last one is what? S3. Suppose integration of S1, that means we are going to first of all find out flux through S1. Flux through S1 means this open surface only. Only surface is S1, circular surface. Then E vector dot ds1 vector. Why? Suppose if you divide the whole surface S1 into small part, then only small part is what? ds1. Suppose this part is ds1, area of the small part, and you draw a area vector here. This is the area vector ds1. ds1 is the area vector. Why? It is perpendicular to the small part ds1. Again, since see this diagram, the electric field at this point will be what? Perpendicular to the where? Along this direction, not along this direction or any other direction. Why? Electric field due to a line charge is always perpendicular. Now see, angle between E vector and ds1 is what? 90 degree. Similarly, if you consider this circular surface, then see a small portion. If you consider, suppose since this is S2, a small area is suppose ds2, and if you draw a normal or perpendicular to ds2 is what? ds2 vector. That means ds2 area vector is perpendicular to ds2, and electric field is perpendicular to what? This where. That is why electric field is also perpendicular to ds2. That means for this s1 and s2 or ds1 and ds2, both angles are 90 degree. That means angle between E vector and ds1 is 90 degree. Angle between E vector and ds2 is also 90 degree. Now the last one, angle between, suppose ds3. Suppose you have considered a small portion ds3. That means of what? S3. The curved surface having area what? S3. If you divide the whole curved surface into small part, then a small portion having area is ds3. And if you draw a normal, then you will get area vector ds3. Again, electric field at point P will be what? It is perpendicular to the what? Perpendicular to the where? That is why E vector and ds3 are along the same line. That means theta equal to 0 degree. Now see, integration S1 means flux through S1 is this one, flux through S2 is this one, and flux through S3 is E vector dot ds3. Only symbols are different. Here S1, here S2, here S3. That means we have divided the whole cylinder into three parts. That means we are going to find out electric flux through S1, through S2, through S3. S1, S2 and S3. Now dot product means cos theta. Here angle between E vector and ds1 is 90 degree. That is why 90 degree. Angle between E vector and ds2 is 90 degree. And angle between E vector and ds3 is what? 0 degree. Parallel. Now cos 90 degree means 0. That is flux through S1 is 0. Flux through S2 is 0. And flux through S3 is not 0 because cos 0 is equal to 1. Again, E is constant. That is why it will come out. Why constant? But at every point on the Gaussian surface, the magnitude of electric field intensity is what? Constant. That is why it will come out from the integration and integration of ds3. Integration of ds3 means S3, and S3 means area of the curved surface. Only this curved surface, not this circular surfaces. That is what? Twice pi RL. Twice pi R is the circumference of circle into length of the cylinder. Okay. Now we have calculated the value of net flux, that is phi is equal to E into twice pi RL. Okay. And now we can apply Gauss's theorem. Now what you have to do, you have to remember one thing, that first of all, in exam purpose, you remember this from diagram first of all clearly. Then this one, net flux, and this language you can write easily. Okay. This is the main thing. Phi equal to what? Net flux means here you have to put here a close symbol, E vector dot ds vector. Then you have to you have to write three parts. Okay, flux through S1, flux through S2, flux through S3. Then what are the angles you have to put, and ultimately you will get this formula. Now next page, see here, according to Gauss's law, phi equal to what? Net flux sorry, net flux equal to what? Net charge inside the Gaussian surface divided by epsilon naught. Net charge means what? Whatever charge where is there, not the outside where. This person, not this person, only this person. That means the charge present in the length L is the net charge Q. And Q equal to what? Q equal to lambda L. Because see here, unitary method. If lambda is the what? Lambda is the linear charge density. That means per unit length charge is what? Lambda. That means L length will contain how much charge? Q is equal to lambda into L. That is why instead of Q we can write lambda into L. Because all of you know the formula. Lambda equal to what? Charge per unit length. That is why Q is equal to lambda by L. Okay. Now, phi equal to, all of you know, phi equal to what? Twice pi RL. Now, if you put the value, after simplification, you will get E equal to lambda by twice pi epsilon naught R. This is the magnitude of electric field intensity at what point? P due to a line charge. Okay, that means since lambda charge density, linear charge density 2 pi epsilon all are constant, that's why you can write E inversely proportional to 1 by R. Okay, in vector form you can write E vector equal to, just you put here a unit vector n cap. Okay, here you can write n cap, a radial unit vector perpendicular to the wire. That means n cap, it is a unit vector which is radially outward direction. Okay, not inward, always it is outward. That means you may write here also n cap is a unit vector perpendicular to the wire, radially outward. Now see, it means what? It means what? See here, if lambda is positive, or you can say if Q is positive, if charge is positive, that means if the wire is positively charged, that means Q is greater than 0. Lambda is also positive. If Q is positive, that means lambda is also positive according to the formula. If lambda is positive, see here, since lambda is positive, E is also positive, that means E vector will be along n cap. That means it will be, E vector will be along the direction of n cap. That means directed outward. E vector will be outward. If Q is negative, that means Q less than 0. That means lambda is also negative. Then E vector, see, lambda negative means what? E vector and n cap will be opposite to each other. That means since n cap is radially outward, if it is negatively charged, that means electric field vector will be inward direction. Okay, this is the topic. Okay, I would like to finish this topic here, and you have to practice a few times, because in exam direct questions used to come, derivations used to come, and numericals also used to come. I shall discuss numericals related to this topic later on. Okay, till then, bye.